So tell us about your product, Penultimate.
Penultimate is a iPad handwriting app. When you don't want to type, or when typing isn't all that you want to do to take notes and to capture information or ideas or whatever, Penultimate is the app that you can use that has sort of the most natural kind of handwriting input. So it doesn't convert things into text, but if you want to use handwriting, it makes your handwriting look great. And it's an Evernote product, so it syncs with Evernote, so all your stuff is sort of instantaneously everywhere, and you can access it from your phone and your desktop and other places.
How do you see this being potentially applied to healthcare settings?
Originally, so I built Penultimate by myself as an independent developer before I was part of Evernote. And in fact, I have friends who are physicians and clinicians, and the first thing I thought of when I was figuring out how to create the app was that this iPad was, when it was introduced, it was like, oh, it's got a keyboard, and they sort of were like, oh, well, you can type on it like this, and it looks kind of inconvenient and annoying. It turns out iPad keyboards are sort of inconvenient and annoying, so I thought, well, people are going to want to use this thing like a clipboard, sort of, right? Like they're going to want to carry around, I imagine, sort of doctors doing rounds or whatever, right? And like, oh, I have an iPad like this, but I'm not going to want to sort of do this with it. Like writing is going to be a more natural input mechanism in a bunch of cases, and wanting to have something that kind of catered for that that wasn't there already on the platform was valuable.
I was just talking at dinner last night to some of the other physicians that nowadays in clinic visits, our backs are to the patients because we're facing a computer typing away while during visits. But it sounds like with this iPad invention, with Penultimate, we can actually write while facing the patients if we're just holding an iPad in our laps.
Yeah, that's interesting, and yeah, I think that is possible. I mean, I think that having the computer in the corner of the room is probably a transitional thing between charts and something that's like charts but electronic. I think having the big clunky computer that you kind of have to turn is probably not going to be around for very long.
And what kind of response have you gotten from consumers of your product?
Generally, they love it, and I'm happy to say. So it's a need, it's a gap in the capabilities that are built into an iPad, right? There's notes tools, and you get the word processor and whatever, but there's no easy way of doing handwriting input, and so we sort of build this great, good-looking, makes your handwriting look really good way of getting that stuff in. And because it's connected to Evernote, if you're an Evernote user or want to be or could become one, it has all these other sort of benefits as well, cloud storage and sync and search and all sorts of other stuff.
What do you hope to get out of MedX this weekend?
I'm not in the healthcare industry myself, and I really only work with mass market consumer software. So it's really interesting for me to hear about the particular challenges that come with medicine. Some of it looks a lot like enterprise software, it turns out, which is a fairly well understood field where you have to sort of sell software to a CIO, but they're not really the end user, and how do you make sure that they're happy, but also you're not screwing over the end users by creating something that's kind of lame. Medicine has, or institutional work has some of those patterns, but it also has additional. There's HIPAA compliance and other issues that even go beyond regular enterprise software that add complexity. So I think there are a lot of challenges there, and there seems to be. I got the sense from people I was talking to that there's a lot of desire to have better software and better tools, and for users, in particular end users, to have better experiences with their medicine-related tools or the health-related tools. And I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it sounds like there's good work being done in that sphere.
Thank you so much for coming and sitting with us today at MedX. We're really happy to have had this chance to talk to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you.